guess. Hey, welcome to CHMA, broadcasting from Sackville, New Brunswick, Canada. You're listening either on 106.9 in the Tantramar area or at www.chmafm.com.
On the unfathomably information-rich thing that is the internet.
It is on the interwebs. Hey, this is Ground Control at YMC Midgic Airport. You're joining myself, Air Traffic Controller Thomas.
And me, Air Traffic Controller Luke.
Join us for the next hour as we watch us guys listen to some tunes, chat, and we'll be done by and by. Luke!
Yes.
We are going to have our weekly weather conversation.
Weather discussion. And because this is live, not pre-recorded
yes.
live, it's more accurate than ever.
We are actually discussing the weather. Right now, it is raining.
A little. Drizzling.
It's very wet.
It is. It's been a damp day. Listen, we need the rain.
We do need the rain.
Hay's cut for the most part.
Yeah.
First cuts off the field.
First cuts off. And
got silage up. It's,
after the first cut, we do want some more rain, right?
Yeah,
and we got rain. We got the rain.
This is insufficient rain. We need a little more rain.
We need a little bit more rain.
I'm, without having looked at any weather forecast for the week whatsoever.
Which we're not going to do.
Well, why start now?
Exactly.
I predict some light rain and reasonable temperatures for this time of year.
And I hope we do get some light rain and some reasonable temperatures for this time of year.
Yeah.
So far, we have, at least in here at the airport, I found throughout the week it's been quite warm.
Yes.
And a lot of the public workers, especially in schools, seem to have been complaining because, especially here in Nova Scotia, there have been classrooms getting to
here in Nova Scotia.
Well,
thought we were in Midgic.
We are in Midgic,
Brunswick.
just a crossover in Nova Scotia. I should
Certainly
say.
not in a studio in Sackville.
No, that would be ridiculous.
No.
It means we'd be lying to our audience this whole time.
It's theater, man. It's not.
Yeah, it's like professional wrestling. It's all predetermined.
What?
But yeah, some of the classrooms in Nova Scotia have been like in the morning at 28 degrees. Oof. As teachers come in for the day.
Yeah, as a student who couldn't pay attention or didn't pay attention at the best of times, I shouldn't say couldn't. It was more of a choice not to.
Yeah.
If I came into a class and it was knocking on the door 30 degrees before stuff even started, the likelihood of me learning anything other than new ways to express how overly warm it was.
Yeah, very low.
Yeah.
Very, very low. Do you know what else is very low?
I'm not sure.
The pitches in some of our songs that we are going to listen to this week.
Okay.
Hey, what do you want to start with?
I've been asking for something like a little pick me up-able at the start of the show.
Yes.
Something with a little jaunt to it.
A little jaunt. We always like a little jaunt here, yeah.
Not that, it's Sunday evening. People might be sitting down on the couch starting the wind down, but need a little something to get them through that last couple hours.
Yeah.
So, yeah, maybe we'll play some Matt Mays. We were discussing this off air, how, we generally try and stay away from artists who've had, pretty huge commercial success, but Matt Mays has been at it so long, slogging at it and I don't think we've ever had a Matt Mays tune on the show.
We have not played Matt Mays yet. No.
So folks, here's Queen of Portland Street. Here's your Matt Mays serving for the week.
Matt Mays with Queen of Portland Street.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. It was that life-changing song on a white cassette. Oh, melody I'll never forget. You're getting me a triple and a BCD. The good times will be on me. Throw in the shifter 1, 2, and 3. Find me the Queen of Portland Street. Out in the 5-runner out of the rain. Me and G chasing hurricanes. Come on, lady, cut me a deal. I work so hard and I never steal. 2 and 3. Find me the queen of Portland Street. Out in the 5 runner out of the rain. Me and G chasing hurricanes. And the good times they go, flying with the sparrows south. They're flying so hard, 'cause fools like you and me, man, will never understand or get to dismiss all this distance. Throw in the shifter 1, 2, and 3. Find me the queen of Portland Street. Right in the 5 runner out of the rain. Me and G chasing hurricanes. Throw in the shifter 1, 2, and 3. Find me the queen of Portland Street. Right in the 5 runner out of the rain. Me and G chasing hurricanes. Me and G chasing hurricanes. Me and G chasing hurricanes. Me and G will be chasing hurricanes.
That's Queen of Portland Street by Matt Mays.
Also filling in our quote of harmonica for the week.
Yeah, we usually have a banjo.
Yeah. Sometimes if a banjo's not available,
We will go for
a mandolin.
harmonica. Mandolin, that's true, yeah. We do have, if we can't get any banjo in the past, we have put
Mandolin in there. Just to fill the. I know it's not the same quota, but
No.
they're adjacent.
Yeah, quota adjacent.
And plus, thanks to a recent informational session, I have a much deeper understanding of the harmonica and how difficult it is to make consistent musical noises with it.
Yeah, like good, consistent musical noises.
Yeah.
The difference, between like diatonic harmonicas and chromatic harmonicas.
Yes, one of which has scales.
Yes.
Not like a fish. And
Exactly.
one of them that can do everything like a piano.
Yeah, one has a lot of notes and one has just very specific notes to make it sound good in that song.
Yeah, knowing what I know now about harmonica, I think if you gave me one and were like, Luke, make a musical noise with this, I'd probably use it as a drumstick.
You know what? That's a fair shout, to be honest.
Because I think I've been wildly underestimating the amount of skill required to play harmonica
Well, yeah. It's not just like I'm going to pick it up and go toot toot toot.
Well, just the fact that, folks, we were discussing this a little bit earlier as well, and it had never really been pointed out to me before. And I knew it once said that, like, you know, you get woodwinds, you get brass, you get any other instrument that you're going to use your lungs to produce the noise.
Yes.
You're generally only doing it on the exhale.
That's correct, yes. But the harmonica...
Not the case with the harmonica.
Harmonica, you have extra space because, you make noise, you make different pitch on the inhale as well.
Madness.
And man, you know, there have been, not a ton, but if we're looking for segues, there have been inhalants used in sports before.
I thought you were going to use the pitch as the... like maybe jump to baseball with you were just talking about pitch.
Yes.
That could have been it, you know.
And you know what? There's actually, I was reading recently that banned substances in baseball are coming back. A lot of them are.
Oh, people just stop checking for them, or they're like,
well, I'm not a big baseball head, you know that. But from my understanding, there are some what are technically illegal substances that help with grip, which make it easier to throw some sort of pitches that, if you have that like little bit of extra stick, you can make it spin even more, right?
okay, so is this something you're ingesting or like something you're putting on your hand before
it's something you kind of put on the ball. Usually you're like scuffing the ball up to, essentially affect its aerodynamic abilities and to affect like how sticky it is on your skin. So like pitch, like actual, pitch is a sticky substance that could be used to get a little bit stickier. But apparently less batters get beamed in the skull at 100 miles per hour which I think everyone is okay with.
Fewer hitters are being struck in the head because pitchers are cheating?
Because pitchers have greater control over the ball with the help of these illegal substances.
So the league's just kind of like, maybe we just let this happen?
They seem to be checking a lot less than they used to.
Oh, okay.
It's like, hey, we unintended positive consequence.
Fewer serious head injuries?
Yeah.
And I think that's something we can all get behind.
I think it is too.
Sports fans or not.
Yeah. But that's not our sports update for today. Not even close. Not at all. Really quickly, for sports news, the MFL, Maritime Football League, had its championship game yesterday.
And that's football, American football, not football, soccer football.
That is correct. Yes,
okay,
it is
just gotta be
Americanized.
because we've looked at both in the sports department.
We have
before.
We have gridiron football, gridiron American football, and that's what the Maritime Football League is. Yesterday,
did you ever find out where that name came from?
No, I haven't looked yet. I still need to do that.
I could understand the grid, having looked at a football field from above.
Sure, yes, even recently.
Not entirely sure. Maybe the uprights are iron made.
Yeah.
One of our two listeners who knows the answer just screaming
yelling
at the radio.
You fools, fly, you fools. The Maritime Football League is the, I'm going to say, highest level football league in the Maritimes that isn't U Sport. Which is the college level, of course. And we don't have a CFL team here in the Maritimes. Mm-hmm. So the MFL is a combination of current U Sport players, so current university athletes, former U Sport players, former CFL players, former high school standouts, even some athletes from other sports like rugby. So a lot of really, really, really great athletes. The Nova Scotia Buccaneers beat the undefeated Moncton Mustangs 29-28 on the last play.
I don't know much about football, but that's a pretty close, two close numbers.
That is a very close number. It was on a last play Hail Mary to win their first Maritime Bowl championship.
Good for them.
Quarterback Liam O'Brien won the Most Outstanding Player award, while Buccaneers receiver Macal Vincent won Outstanding Offensive Player, and Moncton's Josh Armstrong won Most Outstanding Defensive Player. Congrats to all the teams, because that was the season. So you can definitely check out the highlights of that. Maritime Football League is all over social media, and please do, again, it's quite high level football that we have just sitting here in the Maritimes.
Well, I don't think they're just sitting there.
They're not. They're out playing,
running and throwing the ball.
I just feel like not enough people know about them, and incredible football out there.
Now I know about them.
Now you know about them, and our other two listeners as well. Hey, we're going back to Jonte Porter. You've heard a bunch about this guy. Might be the MVA player you've heard the most about.
Oh, he was the guy caught betting on against himself.
Yeah, betting the under on himself. So betting that he would do poorly in a game. Mm-hmm. Interesting. Authorities in Canada are opening a criminal investigation into the betting scandal of former Toronto Raptors player Jonte Porter. Craig Abrams, spokesperson for the Ontario Provincial Police, told ESPN on Tuesday that the Investigation and Enforcement Bureau determined that a criminal investigation is warranted after completing an assessment of available information related to, quote, online betting irregulations from the January 29th and March 20th Raptors games. 4 other men have been charged with wire fraud by the U.S. authorities in New York in connection with prop bets placed on Porter's stats during the 26th game against the Clippers and the 20th game against the Sacramento Kings. As of Tuesday, no charges against Porter have been announced. And Abrams told ESPN in an email that the Ontario Provincial Police is aware of an ongoing investigation in the U.S. as well by U.S. federal authorities, and will be connecting with them as the investigation moves forward.
Yeah, I had no idea this was such a widespread phenomenon before you started filling me in on people betting on or against themselves in sports.
Yeah, we've seen
at
it
the professional level.
We've seen it. Obviously, this is the biggest one in Canadian sports right now, in the NBA. But recently, we've talked about 5 players in Major League Baseball, the MLB, that also have been 4 suspended for a year and 1 suspended indefinitely.
You taught me about a football player one week, I believe, as well, or maybe we just mentioned it in
yes, in the CFL as well.
Yeah. So
who was caught cheating as a college student, and then I believe it was the Blue Bombers, Winnipeg Blue Bombers, who picked him up in the offseason anyway. Sports betting, and trying to get ahead on sports betting has been quite a big part of sports, the discourse in sports dialogue this year. And the more and more we hear about, the more and more I think, wow, this was just a big mistake.
Pro sports, you mean?
Not pro sports. Pro sports are incredible, but pro sports betting.
Oh, yeah.
Because even I know in NBA games, a lot of fans just complain now. It's like you can't even get tickets because they're so expensive, and they're not really fans. They're like professional bettors who are sitting front row and watching live betting as the game's going on, and not particularly really caring about the game, more caring about specific players getting specific stats. And you can even hear it during games sometimes. Someone will miss a rebound, and then you'll hear a whole bunch of people boo for no reason, but it's not no reason.
They were betting on that free throw?
Yeah, they'll be betting on a person getting X amount of rebounds or a person not getting X amount of rebounds. A player could get a rebound.
Why would you need to be there live for that? Is there a broadcast delay that is measurable enough that would because to me, every time I've attended a major sporting event live, it's this. It's great.
Yeah,
I've enjoyed it most of the time. As I might have mentioned on here before, I've been to a Major League Baseball game.
Sure.
And while my understanding of baseball is very limited, hey, it was at Boston. I understand that's a very traditional, the green monster, the big wall.
Yeah.
It's you get the hot dog, and it was I wouldn't give it a carnival atmosphere, but it was a lot of fun.
It's an event.
Yes, and I really enjoyed myself. And I guess it's but if I was a fan, I think I would have seen more of the action from home, because modern cameras and broadcasting is so good. So I'm thinking if I had money riding on it and I didn't want to miss, although I suppose if you're bidding on an individual player, then the camera might not always be on that player. But I could see with how that is suboptimal for fans.
Yeah, so especially it's really bad in Toronto, where a lot of Toronto fans want to go see Raptors games but can't. They're outpriced by these kind of professional gamblers, and that's not the only reason why ticket prices are high, of course. But
it certainly has nothing to do, I'm sure, with the music industry, where one large multinational company controls the flow of
it's not
tickets.
It's sports industry. Well, they own all the tickets for everything, not just sports, not just music as well. But that's our sports update. CFL, we had CFL week 3. I don't think I have any huge updates from there coming out this weekend, and not really much news that I have seen in the news for
what I learned about that was sports
Blue Jays either. What?
Adjacent this week.
What's sports adjacent?
So you know that I follow some motorsports events.
Yes, of course.
And some are more fringe than others.
Yes, of course.
And some are legal-ish.
Yeah.
Cannonball records.
Cannonball, yes. Would you like to explain to me and our few listeners what a cannonball might be?
So a cannonball traditionally is departing from New York and driving as fast as one can to the city of Los Angeles.
And do they drive the legal speed limit the whole time?
No. They sometimes exceed it by quite a lot.
Yes.
I think I would have to look. I haven't followed it as actively in the last few years, but I know the record's somewhere down around like 26 hours. Which is
It's ridiculous.
yes, your moving average is close to 200 kilometers an hour.
Yeah.
It's really a thing that
Which means there are stretches where you're going well over 200 kilometers an hour if your average is 200.
Yeah, because there are fuel stops, and so yes, you have to average well over 100. Your moving has to be quite high, and that does mean that sometimes on public roads these people are doing. Let's do the metric conversion here for people, but not uncommon for these people to be exceeding 250, 260, 280 kilometers an hour on public roads. But,
Yes.
people have all sorts of things they follow, and this just happens to be one that I follow. But
Yes.
I did not realize that there was an active community of scooter cannonballers.
No. Okay.
Now they don't respect the original route. They are not
Yes.
New York to LAers. They are C to C. So
Okay.
they, in the past they've done Vancouver, Canada to one of the New England states. They've
Sure.
done, they go ocean to ocean.
Yeah.
But they don't do New York to LA.
Yeah. They don't do the ocean to ocean and half
And
continent.
they stop every night. So it's what would be referred
Okay.
to as a time distance something rally.
Yeah.
There's so
like a lot of bike races. And by bike, I mean like pedal bikes, like
Yes.
like the Tour de France.
Yeah, time, speed, distance, excuse
Yeah.
me. So you have an average speed you're supposed to maintain. You do this, but at the end of every day, you have time to recuperate.
Yeah.
Because, while there have been motorcycle cannonballs
Yes.
that have gone New York to LA, doing it on a scooter that might only do, the smallest class would struggle to do 65 kilometers an
Yeah.
hour. So this is an event that takes place every 2 years, from what I understand.
Okay. Yeah.
And it takes them 10 days.
I believe it. Yeah.
And you're still talking about 13, 14, 15
Hour
hour
days.
days on a scooter.
Yeah.
So it's something I kind
That's
of
intense.
stumbled into, and I'm like, man, as someone who's ridden scooters
Yeah.
and who enjoys oddball motorsports competitions, they are quite proud to say it is not a race.
It's a competition.
When it's not a competition, it's a rally.
Yes.
And because they're not exceeding any speed limits, and no two contestants are really compete anyway.
Yeah.
All that to say, while this ticks off a lot of the boxes on a thing I would like to do, I don't think I'm going to mail in my registration for this one quite yet.
Not just yet.
No, I think I'll hold off on the scooter cannonball, but it pleases me quite a bit to know that it exists.
Yeah, me too,
and,
actually.
that people are into it.
I'm gonna have to look it up myself and see. It's like, because it's always like when I've dabbled in looking at the cannonball stuff from you. Like I learned about it from
Yes.
you in years past, and it's just a bunch of characters. So I can
Very
only
strong
imagine
personalities.
Yeah, very strong personalities, and I have to imagine it's the same for the scooter runs as well. That it is going to be some very interesting people and strong personalities.
Yeah. Well, the cannonball, the traditional one, is always brought. Like, it's such a weird mix of. You need to have someone. Usually, they're done in teams of 1, 2, 3 people.
Sure. Yeah.
But in the last decade, it's been pushed up to people will play to have aircraft to tail them. They'll have guide cars through urban centers of people.
Wow.
So that we're going to hit LA. We haven't slept in 24 hours, but we know the finish line. And just to be safe, we're going to have someone coming in blitz. They're out in front of us, so that it's like, you get all this vehicle modifications as well to carry extra fuel, to carry radar detector, to carry
Radar detector.
just so much. And that was one thing I kind of liked about the scooters. It was like, we carry a little extra fuel.
Yeah, it's a very low prep.
Yeah, and then what do? You just try and survive 10 days.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's so
wild.
cool.
Yeah.
And we're talking about like a little oddball mixture. I'm gonna play you a selection from a jazz band called the North. And
Are they from the North?
They are. They're all from like northern or countries. So I believe 3 of the members are from Scandinavian countries, and then we have Canadian pianist David Braid, who has won multiple Junos, I believe, both on contemporary classical and jazz, which is quite impressive.
So a local Canadian? Are you breaching our Atlantic Canadian rules here?
He is not a local Canadian. I believe he is from Toronto. But the 5th in the quintet, Mike Murley, is from Nova Scotia.
Okay. That's enough for me.
Yeah.
Stamp in your passport.
Thank you. Yeah, Mike Murley's from either Truro or New Glasgow. I forget which. But he is a very, very seasoned jazz player, has played with everyone who is anyone in the jazz scene in the Maritimes, and also has played with a lot of cats worldwide. One of the biggest ones that he has played with is Kenny Wheeler, who, other than Oscar Peterson, is probably the most famous and probably one of the more prolific jazz composers. Up there with like Maynard Ferguson as well. He was originally a trumpet and flugelhorn player, Kenny Wheeler. So this band, The North, this album is called Plays the Music of Kenny Wheeler. So this is On Mo, performed by The North, originally composed by Canadian Kenny Wheeler, and has maritime saxophone player Mike Murley. Onmo by the North. Specifically, we are listening to Mike Murley there from Nova Scotia. Hey, welcome back. If you're just joining us, we're like pretty much right in the middle, eh?
Yeah, pretty close according to the atomic clock here in the studio.
Yeah, the atomic clock that we have in the studio says it's 6:32:34. We're here in Sackville, New Brunswick, Canada, and you're listening to CHMA. We going into some news right now, aren't we?
Yeah. Well, you're going to do events first? Like what you can do this week, and then we'll look at some news?
Of course.
Or you want to do vice versa?
Nah, we'll look at what's going on here in Tantramar. We're looking at the TantramarEvents.com. You should check it out if you aren't always subscribed to the newsletter.
If you're in Tantramar, we have listeners from all over.
We do have listeners from all over.
One listener here, one elsewhere.
Yeah, one in Ottawa and one... It's JT. I think our one listener in Ottawa.
Okay.
So we got a pretty, I don't know.
Loyal listener there?
Yeah.
Huh.
24 Sussex Drive.
I see.
Yeah. We got a Bagtown Brewing Company right here in Tantramar. That's on Main Street. They have a Famous Queens trivia coming out. That's 7 o'clock on Wednesday, June 26th. You got a $2.50 donation at the door, plus a drink. Doesn't need to be an alcoholic drink, though. It could be any sort of
soda
drink.
pop.
Soda pop. I think they do have pop there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think memory says yes, but I
Yeah,
also,
my loving-
haven't been in a minute.
Yeah, I haven't been in a minute either, just because my loving, beautiful wife is not drinking the alcoholic beverages currently, so we don't particularly really have a reason other than for trivia. So you might see us there. Where you will almost certainly see us, myself and my loving, beautiful wife, and also you, Luke. You'll probably be there too. That's possibly. That's trivia at Ducky's. That's 7 p.m. There is no donation at the door. You don't even need to buy a drink. I probably will, though. And I'll probably lose a trivia again, and I probably will try to have the funniest team name to get a free drink, and I have never gotten it.
Once again?
Yeah, I've never gotten it. I think I'm a funny guy, and I've never gotten it, and it doesn't bother me.
A lot of people feel that way about themselves.
I know.
In the hard light of trivia.
Yeah.
It's okay. I go there and realize I don't really know anything.
Yeah.
So, but... yeah, that's okay too.
That is okay. And if you're not doing trivia, hey, Sappy Fest for Dummies has a dummy making workshop, which is free. That's at 7 Lawrence Street, Strutz Gallery. It is free from 6 to 8:30. Make a life-size seated dummy of yourself or a friend to be exhibited as a part.
It's a tough word.
It is a tough word.
You got there.
I eventually got there.
I was rooting
Sappy
for
Fest
you.
for Dummies. That's really, really cool and really fun. So take a look at that. Hey, we got the UFC 303 live watch party at the Scotia Room. That's the Amherst Travel Lodge, 1539 Southampton Road in Amherst. That's $5 to come in. That was the fight that was supposed to be Conor McGregor. And do you remember the other name for $100?
No.
Michael Chandler.
Oh, yes.
That got canceled. It is now Alex Pereira and Yuri Prochazka, who are two just very large, scary people. I'm very, very excited for that match.
Okay. You skipped right over Friday, though, for people who want to go for a walk downtown, see all the cool old cars.
That's true. We got the old-fashioned Friday night cruise. Come check out some sweet old rides, live music, and more right on Main Street. That is from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Friday, June 28th. Hey, do you got any news?
Any news?
Yeah.
Man, Dorchester, who
Yes.
I feel like I talk a little more smack on than is justified here.
Sure,
Not
yeah.
just because of their inability to keep roads or people, but also just because.
Yes.
But they're getting a new fire hall.
They are getting new fire hall.
budgeted. It's been approved. They're going to get themselves a new fire hall.
And that's a
And
good
I
thing.
think
Like,
that's-
yeah.
Yeah.
My lovely, beautiful wife and I were up this week to Dorchester to watch the end of the year concert. So their primaries 1s and 2s had a few songs that were really cute. Their choir had 4 or 5 performances of pop tunes and with like kind of solos from students, and it was really good. And then the like Celtic Fiddlers had a few songs as well, about 3 songs. It was really good performance. Enjoyed a lot of it. And while we were out there, we drove by the fire hall, and I got to take a look at it. And it's Dorchester. Yeah, we do joke on it, but it is a really beautiful small community that I really love. Love that's part of Tantramar, and I'm glad to get a little upgrade to the fire station.
I didn't ask. I'll ask someone in the know this week and find out if they're planning to like have it on the same location.
Oh yeah,
because they've clearly taken really good care of that existing structure,
the hall that they already have.
So I would kind of hope that maybe it's inside, it's not going to continue to be a serviceable building, but you get like a nice large public building like that that could be used for something there. I would hope that they're not just going to bulldoze that, put the new one up on site. But
that's true.
Just my opinion.
I think that's a very good opinion. A little bit of a double header of sad news, especially for my hometown of St. John, New Brunswick. In the news here earlier this week, I think it was Wednesday when I heard it, Donald Sutherland passed away. This is me doing a quick read of the CBC article on it. Donald Sutherland, the towering Canadian actor.
Was he quite tall? Or
I believe he was,
towering?
Yes.
Okay.
I believe he was quite tall, but I think it was also his presence.
Yes, that's what I was going for.
Spanning more than 6 decades. Passed away at the age 88. His son, Kiefer Sutherland, confirmed the death on Thursday. With a heavy heart, I tell you that my father, Donald Sutherland, has passed away. I personally think one of the most important actors in the history of film, never daunted by a role, good, bad, or ugly. He loved what he did, and did what he loved. And one can never ask for more than that. A life well lived. The magnetic screen star, whose chameleon-like penchant for unconventional characters would sustain him throughout a seldom interrupted career. Sutherland starred in acclaimed titles of the 70s and 80s, including MASH, Clute, Invasion of the Body Snatchers, and Ordinary People. His role as President Snow, the quietly sadistic antagonist of the Hunger Games franchise, made him a recognizable face among a new generation, as did his role in 2005's Pride and Prejudice. Yeah, he's been in a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Until you showed me his picture, I didn't exactly remember who he was.
Yes.
But now seeing it, it's like, oh, yes.
Yes, him.
Yeah.
Who's been in everything forever.
Quite a lot.
Yep. Native of New Brunswick, of course. He's a St. Johner. And he will, be greatly missed. Big part of the last Olympic Games that we had in Vancouver.
Okay.
Had a kind of role as a narrator and MC for the opening and closing ceremonies. And has really done everything and anything that you could want. So, man, good, Donald Sutherland, certainly someone whose influence will be kind of around and felt for a very long time on the arts here in New Brunswick. And that's not our only death here in the news today. You didn't know this one until a few minutes ago.
Until you flashed it up on the screen and I went, what?
Yeah, the obituary of James Kenneth Irving. This is from Brennan's funeral home in St. John. James Kenneth Irving, chairman of JDI Limited, born March 20th, 1928 in St. John, had passed away recently. He was the eldest son of Harriet Lilla and Kenneth Colin Irving, and brothers to the recently late, I should say, Arthur and Jack Irving. Arthur Irving passed away earlier this year. We also recently covered that on the show. JK was a proud Canadian and New Brunswicker, leading J.D. Irving Limited in a career that spanned 76 years.
Yeah.
A career that spanned 76 years.
Yeah.
in life, community, and business. His energy, drive, and enthusiasm for seeing ideas grow and making a difference was contagious. Yeah, so we talked a little bit about Irving Oil and its potential of being sold. Not last episode, but an episode prior here. And JDI, of course, is kind of everything under the Irving umbrella that really isn't
your
Irving
lumber
Oil.
operations, your sawmills, your Kent homes, your they truss companies. There's that's what I'm thinking of right offhand because they're the ones I have firsthand experience dealing with.
Yeah.
But there's much more to it than that.
Tons. They have I know they have JDI has like an engineering firm, a surveying firm, like
equipment rentals, truck repair and maintenance. It's
like JDI, I believe, is really everything other than what was the Telegraph Journal, which is now, I think, Post Media. That was Arthur Irving, but everything other than Irving Oil and the media was all under
JDI.
Yeah, JDI.
Yeah, it's it'd be really interesting to watch. What changes that brings to our province.
Yeah, we were saying that earlier too. Just like there's been talk, quite big talk in the media about the Irving Oil. Irving Oil being sold.
Yes.
But what's the future of JDI look like? Reading a little bit further down. On his obituary at Bernard's, we have, under his leadership and working with his sons, Jim and Robert, the business operations have grown and diversified. So JDI, it says, has forest products, shipbuilding, industrial fabrication, transport, logistical, food, retail, distribution, agriculture, construction, and equipment, employing a team of 20,000 in Canada and the U.S., is immensely proud of the business success of his daughter, Mary Jean, and equally moved by Judith's dedication, that being his wife, I believe, to the community engagement in humanitarian causes. That's a lot of people. 20,000 in Canada and the U.S., and you got to imagine how many of those are right here in New Brunswick.
Yeah, quite a substantial number.
Yeah.
Definitely a big hole to be left in the New Brunswick business community.
Yeah. And not just the business community, but also, a lot of philanthropy through
Yeah, he was
JDI
big, I know,
as well.
on Ducks Unlimited. Like him personally, he was, if he wasn't the kind of the chairman there as well, I know he was quite high up and very active in it.
And
I'm
I
sure
know
lots of other stuff as well.
Yeah, just, again, being from St. John myself.
Yeah, you would have a closer read on that.
Yeah, I know. He tons and tons of money into Big Brothers Big Sisters in St. John, and Big Brothers and Big Sisters in St. John does incredible work in our communities. And that's just one that I know offhand, and one that you know offhand. Right, like his reach across the province cannot be overstated by either of us. I think. So yeah, that is both Donald Sutherland and
J.K. Irving.
J.K. Irving. Hey, let's like brighten it up just a little bit.
Should we?
Well, we got to
Okay.
It's pretty sad right now. What's your gold star, dude?
My gold star is.
Wait, you know what? Do what we should do.
What should we do?
We haven't done this in a while. Like, we might have a first time listener. Hello, first time listener. I'm hearing you right now.
What do we give out gold stars for? Are we going to explain the criteria?
What's
stringent criteria?
The highly stringent criteria, yes. What is a gold star, and why do we give them out?
Folks, every week we give out a gold star to something we deem as interesting, cool, good.
Just like gold star worthy.
Yeah. Like, when you were in kindergarten and a teacher came by and didn't give particularly good reason, just be like, hey, this kid wasn't a little poop disturber this week. You get a gold star.
Yeah, buddy, have a gold star for being like good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're doing that to things or stuff or people.
Yeah, and we did say at one point that we are going to get a whole bunch of stickers and actually send them to these people. So
All right. Well, it's going to be tough this week.
it is going to be tough because what is yours this week?
Well, folks, peeling back the curtain here.
Yeah.
We tried to record this episode.
Yeah, we did.
Live, pre-recorded.
Pre-recorded live many times.
As we often do.
Yeah.
And we faced technical difficulties.
Many technical. It's why we're in the studio right now.
Yes.
Like, I would be home with my loving, beautiful wife right now.
So,
not that I don't mind spending this time with you either.
Second fiddle. So, anyway, Air Traffic Controller Thomas here is expecting me to give it to Bats. Because
Yes.
we discussed it at length.
We did. And
That episode is gone.
It is. Are you taking Bats away?
Well, I was going to give it to Bats, but folks, we've already discussed Bats and given them a gold star.
Yeah, but you're taking...
I'll give them half the star. They
So,
still,
okay.
They're doing great work.
So Bats is our first
making a
ever
comeback, I
1.5 stars.
And
'Cause-
the reason I was going to give it to the Bats was because I was listening to the program this week, and they were discussing Bats again.
Yes.
And I was like, the interview was with someone who was afraid of bats.
Yes.
And I could relate with that as someone who very much dislikes spiders.
Yes.
And that I know that no spider around here can hurt me, and
Sure.
they're important to the ecosystem.
Yes.
And they're eating bugs that I dislike.
Yeah.
But they're not really causing me any harm. But that doesn't mean I'm, I don't
Best friends with...
spiders.
Yeah.
But like every time I've seen a bat, I'm like, cool, there's a bat, and they're doing most of the same stuff and more.
Yeah, that's fair.
And I can really appreciate that this person they were interviewing was like,
I don't like them.
I don't like them, but for me, we got to keep the PR game strong for the bat population.
Yeah. Bats over
As-
spiders.
Yeah,
Like, that is our official...
Listen, if there's a what's the voting thing? Not an election, but a like when they have the smaller ones, a referendum. If there's a choice to be made, folks, in supporting bats or spiders, I'm happy to wear a bat shirt.
We're Team Bat. We are Team Bat here. What's the other half going to? So you got
the
one
scooter cannonball.
Oh, scooter cannonball. Yeah.
Because there's people spending 10 days of their vacation to ride scooters across
Canada.
North America.
Yeah, that's great.
And that's the kind of absurdity we can all aspire to.
Bats are our first time 1 1.5 star winners.
Yes.
So they won in the very first week. The winners were Bats in Dorchester. We are at week 30, and Bats have gotten
Week 30, and we're still discussing bats
the
in
exact same.
Dorchester.
We're still talking about the exact same things. Hey, I gave mine to the black-capped chickadee, and my reasoning was I saw one.
Hooray.
I'm gonna keep it that.
That's fine.
Yeah, I'm still going with the black-capped chickadee, the provincial bird of New Brunswick. I saw one. It was cute. I still am happy that I saw one because I don't always see them in this area, I find.
Yeah.
But
They're out in force this spring.
yeah.
I've seen them. I was reading a book yesterday.
You're out reading a book, yeah.
Under the apple tree.
Yeah.
And there was one that landed up there, and I was like, huh,
Hey,
look at that.
little black-capped chickadee. Yeah, every single time I see one, I go, it's a provincial bird right there. Every single time. Hey, we need to do some promos.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to do 3 promos, and then,
do one.
You're going to do one.
Tradition.
As is tradition. So, formerly known as Under the Needle, we got live on KEXP right after this. If you don't go anywhere,
That's what you're getting next.
you're going to be listening to live on KEXP in about 10 minutes.
Wow.
They bring you the very best of their world-renowned live in-studio and remote performances. Each week, they bring you a new live session from emerging artists to well-established acts spanning styles, genres, and cultures. They've had tons of artists. I'm not going to go through everyone, but they've had King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard, The War on Drugs, Wilco, Alves, Dinosaur Jr., Father John Misty, Gary Clark Jr., and so much more. You can find all of Live on KEXP's performances available at youtube.com/KEXP, including new performances each and every week.
And what happens if you leave your radio on after that?
Oh, if you listen to all of Live on KEXP,
Yes.
you'll start listening to Black Atlantic. That is starting at 8 p.m. That is a primarily Black Atlantic-centric podcast, website, and media channel with the goal of bringing Atlantic POC voices to the world. That is hosted by Clinton Davis and Hilary LeBlanc. You can check them out at blackatlantic.ca and follow them on Spotify or visit their YouTube page. After that, we have Luca Capone's with The Night Shift.
Oh, you never know what you're going to hear on The Night Shift.
Never know what you're going to hear on The Night Shift. Here, Luca Capone's spin a diverse, adventurous mix of sounds ranging from psychedelic jazz to experimental hip-hop with a heavy focus on Canadian and independent artists. What are you saying? What you got?
Yeah, man, if you've ever listened to music on the radio and thought, this radio needs more rock,
Yeah?
you should tune in Friday nights.
Yeah?
You should tune in and listen to Strange Notes. You know what kind of rock you're going to hear?
What?
You're going to hear punk rock. You're going to see some heavy rock, some folk rock, soul rock, all kinds of rock.
That's a whole bunch of type of rock.
Man, so much rocks. Geologists and music fans everywhere are like
Huge fans.
ready to rock.
I love it.
So yeah, tune in. New show. Give it a chance. It's Friday night. If you're up at 10 o'clock, listening to that for me because I likely won't be.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to be up then either. Hey, we got a tune.
Do we?
Yeah.
We gonna give the people some more jaunt?
I don't know. Is Deja Vu by Mo Kenny jaunty?
Oh, it's got that little bit.
Oh, yeah,
like
it
a
is.
third
It
of
does
the way in with the back and forth. That's like gonna be in your head for the rest of the week.
Yeah, it's got our friend Joel in it too, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah, Joel might be popping in the background.
Little background vocals from Joel Plaskett. Hey, it is Pride Month, and I don't think we've played a member of the LGBTQ plus community yet.
Oh, so we're ticking that off tonight.
Oh yeah, we got to tick off all our boxes, and by that I mean you literally put this in the playlist, and I was just like, hey, let's do a really awkward, now terrible segue about
How this
Pride.
is.
That was forced and awful.
Yeah.
I apologize.
You know what'll make you feel better?
What?
Listening to this
I
tune.
was going to say editing this out, but I can't, can
Nope,
I?
not anymore.
No editing here. But here's Deja Vu by Mo Kenny.
Hit it.
It could be deja vu, but I'm finished with you. Gonna take my bad luck, turn it into good luck. Gonna take your heart and turn it into something nice. Gonna take a train wreck, bounce it like a bad jet, send you on your way, and I won't think about it twice. I won't think twice for the boys, once for the girls, underneath the big blue sky. Let's not pretend it's the end of the world. It's the end of a little white lie. A little white lie to me, baby. You must be crazy, walking in and out of my door. In and out of my door. You're gonna fly with a tear in your eye. Is it ever gonna hit the floor? Baby, I'm bored. Have we been here before? There could be deja vu. But I'm finished with you. Gonna take my bad luck, turn it into good luck. Gonna take your heart and turn it into something nice. Gonna take a train wreck, bounce it like a bad check, send you on your way, and I won't think about it twice. Gonna take my bad luck, turn it into good luck. Gonna tell you now I can't take it anymore. Fire in the sky, a little white light. I open my eyes and baby I'm sure we have been here before. It could be deja vu. Now I'm finished with you. We're through. Gonna take my bad luck, turn it into good luck. Gonna take your heart and turn it into something nice. Gonna take a train wreck, bounce it like a bad check, send you on your way, and I won't think about it twice. No, I won't think twice.
No, I won't
Fill-
think twice.
Fill in your jaunt quota for the week.
Oh,
with
yeah.
the little back and forth there.
It
Not
is
two
good.
voices that I would have thought like jive together.
But they do, yeah, they really do.
But yeah, just the little, the little back and forth, the little duet action. Strong. Be in your head for hours.
I told you this the other day, but it's still stuck in my head. Put a little dirt on your pillow for the dirt man. That's the song that's been stuck in my head.
Yes.
Till for he comes to town.
And I didn't know what it was then, and now I know because you told me it was a TikTok thing.
Put a little dirt under the pillow
That
for the
it's
dirt
a TikTok
man.
thing. But I don't think it's going to replace Mo Kenny, fortunately, in my head for the next couple days.
Are you sure? Because it is catchy, man.
Well,
I got to say, though, like, my loving, beautiful wife has been pretty mad at me for putting a little dirt under the pillow for the dirt man. Because I don't want to be taken down.
okay.
Hey, thank you for listening.
Thank you to CHMA for hosting and broadcasting. Check them out on CHMAFM.com and CHMAFM on the socials.
That is right. And you can check us out at Midgic Airport. You can visit our merch store and give us a shout out on all our socials. I got my merch. I got my Midgic Airport hat. You got yours?
I'm not wearing it currently, but I do have one.
You do have one. You got the black one?
I think so.
And I got the green one.
Sure.
And they both look very, very good. There's also sweaters there, that one of them of which my lovely, loving, beautiful wife has, and pins and etc. There's tons of stuff you can get on the merch store. You can also get our wrestling podcast merch over there too. Another thing that you can check out on our website if you go there. Do you like professional wrestling?
I'm indifferent about it.
I know you are.
That's
like
why
it, though.
I'm not on that media production.
You are not on that one, no, but it is. If you like this,
You might like that.
you might. And
if you like this and wrestling,
you will definitely like that.
there you go.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, you can give us a shout out on all the socials as well. That's at Midgic Airport, except on X, formerly known as Twitter, where we are at Midgic_Airport. Finally, if you miss an episode, if you somehow are listening to this, but you're like, hey, I missed the rest of the show, it's fine. Do you know why?
It's on the internet.
It's on the internet. You can go to CHMA and check the show out, as well as all the other awesome shows on the network. You can also go to midgicairport.com to find our show. Or, here's a crazy one. You can go anywhere where you get your podcasts. Name one.
Spotify.
Yep, we're on there.
The Apple one that's right on this Apple stuff.
Yeah, we're on Apple Podcasts. What else? Deezer, iHeartRadio.
Okay, we're there.
We're on both of those.
That's great.
We instantly get uploaded to YouTube now.
Huh.
Yeah, so if you have a YouTube Premium, you can just like slap us on in the background and go amongst your day.
There you go.
So, hey, a little bit for everyone. Hey, thank you everyone for listening.
Have a great evening.
Sackville, New Brunswick. Hi everyone, my name is Andrea.